everyone, and welcome to another video here on the Makers Gonna Learn YouTube channel. I'm Courtney, and this week we are doing some spooky Halloween projects. This one is a super spooky but also cute doormat. You've never seen a doormat like this before. I promise you, we are making it into a shape. So you're definitely gonna wanna stay tuned to watch this transformation from this super boring doormat into a awesome Halloween spiderweb doormat. Let's get into the supplies. You're obviously going to need a plain doormat. This is actually a lighter color doormat than you've probably seen a lot of places, and it was found at Hobby Lobby. We'll be using our 12 by 24 Cricut mat. We'll be using our mini EasyPress. We just have some paper plates here that go along with our paint for painting, and we have a flat top paintbrush. This is super important to really get that saturation in your doormat, not just any regular paintbrush, but this kind. We also have a box cutter. We have some Scotch tape. We have some pins. These are typically for sewing, but yeah, just some pins. We have freezer paper here on our table, as well as some 8.5 by 11 craft cardstock. That's all you're gonna need for this project. Oh, and the self-healing mat that we have on our table. But that's it. So let's jump into the project. We'll start in Design Space. So I have my file uploaded. This file is actually intended to make a really cute Halloween banner, but I am going to use it to make our doormat. I also over here have a rectangle that is sized to 18 inches tall by 30 inches wide because that is the size of my doormat. So I want to kind of go based off of that. And so I am going to actually contour out this spider part of the banner here. So I'm just going to click that and this little dot here. We'll also go ahead and contour out these little dots here in the corner. They probably won't get in our way, but just in case. Let's make sure those are unclicked, just like that, and one more. All right, perfect. So now we are going to size the spider web, and we're gonna bring it to the front. So we have sized this so that it fits pretty good on our doormat, and then we'll let these cut out, but when we go in with our box cutter, we'll just kind of cut those off. So what we wanna do here is now copy this so that we have two of them. Oh, then I'll need to paste it, where you could just click duplicate. So now we have two of these. So with this one, what we're going to want to do is click contour, and we're gonna click hide all contours except this outside one, which is what it'll do anyways. All right, so then what we will do is we'll go ahead and add some shapes to slice this, because as you can see over here, these parts are not going to fit on the mat. So we need to slice it because this is a larger than mat project. So what I'm going to do over here is scale this down, and because this is 30 inches, this only needs to be 10 inches. So width, I'm going to click 10. And then I'm going to select 3 of these. So copy and paste. Actually, I'm just gonna click duplicate. So we're gonna cover this up with 3 rectangles, just like that. And what I'm going to do is select all 3 of these, go up to the top, and where it says align, I'm going to click align top so that they're all aligned on the top. And now what I'll do is I'll select this square, and I'll select the banner behind it. I'm using this right hand panel because you can't actually see the spider web, and I'm going to click slice. So now you can see this is the part that we will need, and then we have this, which we don't need, so we can delete that. And we have this, so we'll actually use the black pieces. We can delete the gray. And so now I'm going to click this and the rest of the doormat here, and I'll click slice. And so now we have our second part, and then I'll do the same with this third one and click slice. So now we have 3 parts to our doormat here, And we are going to cut these out of cardstock and make a stencil. But then we need a stencil to add the spiderweb shape onto the doormat with paint. So what we'll do for that is the same thing here. We need to slice this. So we'll do that same thing. So I'm going to make a rectangle that is 10 inches wide and however much high. Now I'll bring this down here and I'm going to align it so that one is in the middle and then we have two others, one on each side. So now, same thing that we did before for that slicing. You're going to go over to the right side panel, click the spider web, and click one of the squares. Then go down and click slice. Now you'll see that we have this gray part, but we delete the gray parts. And that's another gray part, so you can delete that. So now we have this. And we'll click this and slice. So here we have this part and we don't actually have to slice that, it kind of did it for us. But we'll go in and contour and get rid of these parts on the side here. So we'll just click that and here. And now we have this middle part. And we will delete these other parts and we actually will not be cutting out the mat, so we'll delete these. And let's check. Okay, so over here on this one, I'm going to contour out this side over here, as well as this side. Actually, that was already contoured out, so let's click that. Just want to make sure that everything is as simple as possible. So yeah, now we have these three parts, and we want to make these cut out of freezer paper, so I'm just going to change that color to white, because freezer paper is white, and we'll click make it. So here we have three mats that we are going to need to use freezer paper to cut these out. We'll cut those out on the wax paper setting. And then we'll cut these out of cardstock that we have taped two pieces of cardstock together. So I'll go ahead and get those mats ready. Alright, so I have my freezer paper on this mat and I've placed it shiny side down. That way we don't have to mirror it, because that's the way that we will have to place it onto our doormat, because the shiny side is what will adhere down to your mat. So we'll just load this in. When it's done cutting, you'll unload the mat and then we will take this and just place it off to the side. Alright, so in Design Space, we are ready to cut out the stencil for the mat itself where we're going to cut. So we need to change this material to cardstock. So we'll go ahead and switch that. Let's do craft cardstock because that's what we're using. So go ahead, and my blade is a little dull, so I'm going to click more pressure. So we are going to use this for the next three mats, and let me show you how to prep that mat. So you will take a piece of craft cardstock and put it up here, just like this. Then grab another piece and place it right up against that, like this. Then we'll take our Scotch tape and tape across this line so that it is one piece of paper. And the Cricut will have no problem cutting right through that tape. So there we go. And you'll just repeat that process for all three cuts. All right, so what we're going to do is here with our mat is flip it over so we can see the back. And now we have our three pieces that have been cut out. And what we're going to do is, with the tape side up on all three of them, we're going to arrange these onto our mat. So just like this, we're going to bump them all up to each other. All right, now we'll go in with our metallic marker and just trace this right on to the mat. This metallic marker, you're really able to see against the black, so that's why I'm using that. It's actually a Cricut marker. And just coming around like that. And then when we take these off, we can see our spiderweb shape. And over here, I'm just gonna go straight down with that. All right, so now we're gonna come in with our box cutter. And we are going to just cut this into the shape we want. So you're gonna kind of press down, lift, press down, and you're just gonna kind of work it like this. And what you need to know is you're really only cutting through this back rubber part, because that's what the kind of, I don't know, like the material is attached to. And so once you cut through that, the material will just fall off where you need it to. And as you can see, we're almost done. We just gotta keep going until the whole thing is cut out into this spiderweb shape. All right, when you're done, you'll just peel this apart, and this is our leftover, so this can go in the trash. You could also make a doormat for like a dollhouse out of it, out of your scraps. I think that would be so cute. All right, so here's our mat. You can already see that it is taking the shape of a spider web. And what we'll do is grab our pieces of freezer paper, and you'll see this is the part for over here. You want to make sure that shiny side is down. And then this is the middle piece. And this is the piece that goes over here. So I just placed them there, but obviously they're not like all set in stone where they are. You'll need to go ahead and turn on your baby EasyPress. I'm going to use it on the highest setting here. And now I'm going to take these sewing pins and pin this down into place because it is so detailed and I don't want it to move while I'm heating it to the surface. So I'm just going to take it at some of these main points here and pin it down. This way you can also see if you need to move it. All right, so with that pinned down, I'm going to come in with my EasyPress. I'm going to start out somewhere that's nice and flat down already, and we'll just kind of work our way from there. It really doesn't take that long. You just want to kind of hold it over an area and move it around a little bit, and you'll see when it starts to attach. And the key to this is not to pull on the freezer paper. If you pull it on it, it's really not adhered down that much, so it might peel it up in some areas. All right, so then with this other part over here, we're just gonna make sure that when we start adhering this down, that these lines meet up. So I'm gonna just do the little edge of these lines to start out, because anywhere that this freezer paper isn't, that's where we're going to paint. So you don't want to have any gaps that aren't in the cut file. And you're just gonna slowly work out your whole mat doing this. So once you have it all adhered down, we're going to take a lot of paint. These things use a lot of paint, especially with how much surface area of it we are covering here. So I have loaded up my flat bristle brush, and what you want to do is kind of start on the sides, and you're just going to go right over the freezer paper in a downward motion. You never want to go with a sideways motion, because then your paint will get under that freezer paper. But the freezer paper really will protect it when you're using just a downward motion. So use this downward motion, and you're gonna pounce all around. And the pouncing really gets the paint deep within all of these bristles so that it's not just on the top area. If you were just to paint it or even spray paint it, I've seen that done, and it just doesn't look as high quality as when you really get in there and get it through all of those bristles. So we are even painting the sides, going at it from the side on the very edge of the doormat over here. This is what I was telling you not to do when you're near the freezer paper, but there's no freezer paper stencil over here, so I'm getting it from the side angles. And you're gonna get all around your freezer paper. even where your freezer paper isn't fully adhered down, if it came up in any areas, as long as you're holding it tight kind of, and you're not breaking that at all, you will be able to still use it to protect those areas that you want to stay the natural light color of the mat. So if you are new to making doormats, just some of the tips again for these mats coming out high quality is this kind of paintbrush and going from a downward motion. Those are the two things that will really take your doormats to the next level. And that's what we want. We want your doormats, even if it's your first doormat, to come out amazing. So now I'm just holding this down, as you can see, because it's not adhered down very well on this very edge. See if you can see it, it kind of moved. But as long as you hold it in place while you're going and it's adhered down somewhere, you're gonna have great results. Alrighty friends, so once you are done painting, you have two options. You can let it fully dry, or you can take your stencil off after you're done painting, which is what I'm going to do. The tip that I have here is just be careful and maybe do it in sections, because you don't want to drop your wet painted stencil onto a part that doesn't have paint on it and smudge it. But look at these crisp lines. I'm literally dying over how good this is looking. I mean, have you ever seen a cuter doormat? Because I don't think I have. I am going to be so sad when it's not Halloween anymore and I have to take this off of my front porch. So what did you guys think? I am absolutely in love with the Spiderweb doormat. I think it just really takes the doormat to the next level, how we cut it out on the sides. It is precious and you are going to die when you see this whole Halloween front porch come together. If you liked this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and keep on coming back for more amazing craft content. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!